The next morning, I made sure to wake up on time and get to the coffee shop near my work to see Tamaki again. I had been thinking about our little outing since he left, and I was excited, as I was giddy, okay? It wasn't a date or anything, but somehow it kind of felt like one. Amajiki and I were going to get to know each other, and what better way to bond with another person than away through a nice chat and coffee. P.S. If you don't like coffee, you can pick something else. I got there a few minutes later before our meetup, finding us both a nice place to sit inside the small building. I scrolled through my phone as I'd look up from it whenever the door of the shop opened, and after a few minutes passed by, Tamaki showed up. At the sight of him, I immediately stood up from my chair, almost falling over as my eyes were quickly set on Amajiki once his head popped from the outside. Tamaki! I greeted cheerfully. I'm so glad to see you. Hey, and it's nice to see you again. Amajiki walked up towards our table, looking around the coffee shop intently. It seemed like he had never gone there before, so I was proud of myself for choosing this as our first meetup. If you're here now, then that means we both thought we should arrive a bit early. I sat back down, but Amajiki's expression suddenly wrinkled in panic. But if you're here now, does that mean I made you wait? He inquired. No, not at all. Okay. After reassuring him, I spoke yet again. You're just in time, Tamaki. Make yourself comfortable. Amajiki pulled back the chair in front of me and sat down, the two of us now looking at the small menu. And hey, I added, don't worry about paying, 'cause I'm buying, so choose what your heart desire. Tamaki now looked at me troubled. No, I couldn't let you in. I don't mind paying for mine. I shook my head, grinning softly. No, it's okay. We're friends after all, right? Tamaki's eyes glued to the menu yet again, covering his entire face with it. Yeah, friends. The two of us remained silent for some reason until we were ready to order. I didn't know if it was something I said or did, or maybe it was just how Amajiki was most of the time. After all, we didn't know each other much, and I didn't know why, but my mind went blank after ordering too. Our conversations would have been ruined if it wasn't for my quick thinking. Anyways, I wanted to give you my personal thanks for the interview. Because of you, I'm one step ahead of being promoted. Thank you. Really? I was so thrilled to see Amajiki's face again when he walked in through the coffee shop, and I could tell he was cheery too. By the way, his little smirk brightened his whole frame since our little interview. I wasn't able to work without Tamaki's face appearing in my mind every second. I wanted to see him again, okay? Congrats, Yin, Tamaki praised. But I have one more question. Why didn't you call the others too? I circled around the coffee shop, unable to find the right words to say. Because I wanted to see you. I noticed Amajiki's expression change. His pale face got a bit redder right before he lowered his gaze onto the table. I thought his twiddled thumbs was adorable, and his nervous antics always made me giggle. I chuckled, bending over a little as I rummaged through my bag until I found what I was looking for. As a token of my gratitude, I wanted to give you these. I handed. I know it's not much, but I hope you like them. I held a small box of chocolates in my hand, waiting for Amajiki to take it for himself as he glanced a few times over at my direction, hesitant. I bought you these and thought of you. I commented, Thank you so much for the help, Tamaki. After standing up, Amajiki kept staring at the box, peeking through his long bangs to look at me, but would swiftly look down afterwards when he noticed I was still looking at him. Timidly, Tamaki extended his hands to reach for the chocolates, finally having the box within his grasp. Thank you, Yin. I appreciate the gesture, but you didn't have to, really. All I did was answer a bunch of questions. At the sight of his weak yet gentle smile, I felt my heart skip a beat as my eyes widened a bit. I don't know if it was Tamaki's shyness or his tenderness, but whenever I saw Amajiki visibly happy, I couldn't help but feel warm on the inside. Nonsense! You did more than I needed to. Because of your part of the article, they considered my promotion. Tamaki toyed and circled the ribbon of the small box around his finger to distract himself from my compliments, unable to know what to say back. A few minutes later, they called our order, and Tamaki offered himself to bring them. After placing our drinks on the table, we kept on chatting for minutes on end. It felt as if our conversation went hours long, and soon I realized that when I was with Tamaki, my world went by so slow, by how his awkwardness and tenderness, it just drew me in. By the way, I saw you on TV the other day. I mentioned. You were amazing as always, Tamaki. The way you used your quirk like that to defend those nasty villains was something I've never seen someone else do before. Oh, you saw that, Yin? He said, sipping on his tea. I'm starting to notice you praise me and my work too much. I don't want to disappoint anyone if I mess up out there, especially you. I rolled my eyes as I placed my hot drink down. That won't happen. How are you so sure? He questioned. What if I let you down? What if I can't live up to your expectations of me? I don't know if I can. I frowned, sad to see Amajiki doubt himself so much. Despite his obvious talent, perhaps the pressure to become the best drags him down instead of encouraging him to give it his all. But I knew that I was there to support Tamaki now. I always tried my best to encourage him. Maybe you can't see the greatness within you, I told him, but I certainly do. After that, Tamaki raised his head from his cup to meet my eyes, and by the look of his shocked face, he seemed surprised to hear me say that. But I truly meant each and every word in that sentence. If only Tamaki would believe them too, just like I did. He was an exceptional hero, whenever he knew it or not. He was the bright sun eater, and that would never change. But before I was able to tell him that, my phone rang inside my bag, and I picked it up. My boss's contact lit the entire screen. I sighed, slouching. I couldn't believe I had to go back to work now. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I have to cut our meeting up short, Tamaki. Work is calling. Oh, I see. Then you shouldn't be late. I really wished our morning coffee would have lasted a bit longer. I wanted to know more about Amajiki, not Sun Eater. We mostly spoke about his hero work, but I was more interested in his hobbies, his interests, his likings. I unwillingly stood up from my chair, placing the money under my empty drink as I walked away from our table. Bye, Tamaki. Hope to see you again sometime. Tamaki followed me with his indigo eyes, slowly turning his hips around to see me out. He hadn't yet finished his tea, and I, the one who invited him, was going to leave him all alone. But I knew that if I stayed, then I wouldn't hear the end of it from my boss. I just wished Tamaki knew how much I wanted to chat with him about everything. But I knew this wasn't the last time I'd see Sun Eater. I wouldn't dream of it. Likewise, Yen. During lunch, I left my office to go eat out, and when I got back, I saw something on the top of my desk that wasn't there before. When I got close to inspect it, I noticed a small white box sitting on top of my books. It was a fancy golden ribbon and everything, and when I opened it, inside was a frosted slice of cake. I wasn't expecting any gifts or surprises from anyone, so I completely baffled by the dessert. But then suddenly, it all hit me. When Amajiki and I waited in line to order, he must have noticed I was glancing back and forth at one of the cakes on display. I was extremely touched by his kind and thoughtful gesture. And on top of it all, a folded pink note was neatly placed beside the cake. And I picked it up and read, "Thank you for believing in me, Sun Eater." I stared down at the sweet note for the longest time, smiling to myself as I ate the chunk of cake Tamaki bought me. I hugged the piece of paper close to my chest and felt his words slowly penetrate my love-driven heart.